What's up, guys? Welcome to Riverdale. It's a brand new show where we are going to review Riverdale, the show based off of the comic book Archie. I am joined here with my ladies. Ladies, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Myverick Garcia. Hi, guys.
Hey, Migdalia Melendez. Hi.
Heck yes. Okay, so we just got done watching the first episode. We watched it all together here in the studio of Riverdale. And I want to know, we'll kind of go like chronologically just so we're not jumping back and forth. But if we have any questions, feel free to let me know. But I want to get your thoughts really quickly before we get into it overall. What were your thoughts on the show?
Well, the first scene, it struck me very much as, do you remember Pleasantville with Reese Witherspoon and was it Tobey Maguire?
Yeah.
I think it kind of had that kind of essence with like just the very like contemporary look of it all, and then it switched real quick to very dark and very like Twilight, like that cloudy, mysterious, alluring. Like everybody looks like very attractive, but they're in high school for some reason.
Right. They kind of get that small town like
the highest school your friends ever attended.
Right. Exactly.
Where it's like the defined cliques. It's like classic kind of CW style. But that's I mean it makes sense. That's the network it's on. What did you think about the first episode?
I liked the fact that it's a murder mystery. That's kind of like hooked me right there, but it had that very like formulaic series premiere, like here's the checklist.
Totally.
You know,
I was just
kind
gonna say they introduced everybody. It was kind of like almost every scene they were like revealing this, and just
giving a little bit of the background, which I'm sure like as like most series go, you'll get more and like the more in depth, and like there's a twist and this person's connected to this person, which they already kind of we'll probably go into that later, but it very much kind of already hinted at some of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so we kind of have like the overall premise of what's going on, and obviously you guys, if you haven't watched it, be sure to check it out. There may be spoilers, obviously, in this because we're going to be talking about it.
Which we're also talking about this live.
Yeah. Right. So make sure
I hope you watch it.
Right, obviously. But for starters, I kind of had the same thing. It kind of reminded me of other setups and definitely other shows, but I thought it was entertaining. And it was easy to follow. I always get really upset with pilots when I get lost in the first episode. So it's kind of nice that they kept everything together. But, okay, so we'll start from the beginning. So in the beginning, we finally establish who the main character, you guys got to help me out because I'm so bad with the names.
Archie.
Betty, and we have Archie, who are clearly best friends.
Right.
We have the gay best friend,
Kevin.
who is Kevin.
Yeah.
So you kind of get their little trifecta going on. They're all friends. Obviously, Betty has that crush on Archie. He's not feeling it. And then the hot, kind of dark new girl Veronica comes to town, and that's where kind of our story picks up.
Yeah. And the other thing I would say is typically I can't stand, not necessarily typecasting, but like the typical role of everybody. Like, it's not that it's easy acting,
right?
If that makes sense. Like, I know you come from the acting world, where it's like, here's this snobby rich girl, and like she has all the witty comebacks, and like I would say that I typically wouldn't like that, but it kind of like for the way that the flow of the show is. It's purposeful for each one of them to have like the girl next door, like the kind of like troubled, like
because it's based off of a comic from 75 years ago. At this point,
Did you read the comic as well?
I didn't read the comic.
Okay, cool.
Like I'm not like
are
you a Betty or are you a Veronica person? Which I guess we're gonna have to define ourselves.
That's a good little segue here. Let's define ourselves because I know like everybody's kind of a mix. You know, you have different sides.
I know that was like the big question. Are you a Betty or are you a Veronica?
Okay, so what do you think you are?
I think more so I'm a Betty, but if I get mad or if I get drunk, I'm a total Veronica.
Right, of course.
I would say I'm also probably Betty, but also I don't know if you guys even remember when she was trying out for cheerleading, like she had some like temper in her. Fire, but she was like squeezing her fist so tight, that she made herself bleed, and so
exactly. No, Betty's got some anxiety, for sure. So I would definitely peg myself as a Betty too, just because I'm tend to avoid the confrontation. Where Veronica's more of like the outgoing, outspoken, but I'm like, no, I don't want to fight about anything. It's fine. I won't be in the cheerleading squad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So I know. Who knew that?
And like, to your point, I kind of felt that way. I kind of felt like they were reading lines. Like, okay, I said my line, and then you say your line, and it was very like.
But you also have to think like I would hope that our fans and everybody that watches it has maybe some sort of a connection to the comic book world, and it can
for sure
where from what I'm sitting, like normally, like I said, that wouldn't be an attraction to me, but it just made sense for what this show
It
is
is.
trying to portray.
Absolutely. And I have to remember that too, because I always go back to, oh, well, in this day and age, why wouldn't they have her say this? But it is based off a comic. So
Right.
they are going to try to stick to, like you said, it's 75 years ago. So as old
It's almost
school.
got a dated kind
Exactly.
of feel to it.
Exactly. But then again, it's also, like I said, CW, which has a lot of those coming of age dramas. So I think it fits the network perfectly.
And I guess I don't know if they say this in the show or not, but do they talk about when the actual time is that this is taking place?
That's the other thing. Because the clothing too, almost
Down to the cheerleading uniforms,
Yeah.
like everything.
And then
seems a little
we
bit
didn't see
dated.
cell phones or really any like computers or
Right.
just that guy Jughead typing on his computer
That's Right. true.
on a word processor.
So would you guess like maybe early? Because it's definitely not like right, young, and hip. And they did make a reference to Twitter. So if you guys
Okay,
are aware
yeah.
of like kind of what era they are, I assumed it was like early 2000s, but like it was a little dated. Like,
Well,
yeah.
if it is Twitter, it'll probably be like 2005, 2007
Right.
almost.
That makes
At the
unless they are
earliest.
trying to make it nowadays, like updated 2017, but because they're in a small town.
Yeah, it's very
when,
small town, yeah.
For people like, I'm
not
from
New York.
Ohio, it's very,
Yeah.
you're not going to be super like hip, and there's going to
Yeah.
be young cafes. It's like
yeah, but
old
even
school.
down to Veronica, like the way that she's dressed, and she came from New York, and like she's coming where
True.
things are like done up, and she has her pearls, the way that she wears her headband and the hair, like that was very much an iconic style. I feel like, well, obviously back
Well,
like
it's
in,
almost
the
like she just
50s,
came
but-
out of Gossip Girl.
I was gonna say, I'm like, can we just
You're
plug
a
her
few
from one
years
show?
too late.
Yeah,
True.
Gossip Girl was a few years
I was
ago.
wondering that makes sense maybe if it is dated a little bit back.
Right. Absolutely. All right. So we're established. We're all a bunch of Bettys. That's fine.
Yes.
I'm okay with that. We're not living life on the edge, but we have a little dark side. Also with Betty, just because we can explore her character, they also mentioned, and I said we're going chronologically, and now I'm taking it back because I'm not at the moment. But Betty kind of has that anxiety thing. She also mentioned the fact that her sister had dated Jason, the redhead who passed away in the water. So we're gonna find out more drama with that, and I feel like Betty we're gonna like discover more about her character. Like there's
Right.
something weird and dark with her and her mom. Because remember in the opening
her mom
scene,
in general.
her mom had that. There was that scene in the beginning where
Yeah.
she said something to the
I
effect
hope he
of,
like burns in
If
hell.
he didn't die in
Yeah.
the water, or if he is dead, I hope he suffered before he died.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So obviously the mom is very upset at Jason, but in Betty's recollection,
It's
to
her
Veronica,
mom that
it's the
broke.
mom who broke the sister.
Right.
So I'm really curious to see, like, as far as Betty's mom, what's going on with that whole history with Jason.
So that makes her suspect number one.
True. Absolutely. So opening, and then we have Jason and his sister, for some reason, are taking a intimate boat ride on 4th of July. I don't know why I find this so weird. Like, it's scheming
I thought
out.
it was a couple. I thought it was like him and his girlfriend because they were like
Thank
all
you.
like
hand
how
holding
pretty
hands.
they were too.
Oh, and
like,
they were in all
That's why,
white.
like, again, it gave me that Twilight kind of feel where they're
Yeah.
all like, are they like incest? Like, why are they always all over each other?
Yeah.
That's what I felt like. It was like this
Right.
weird.
Incestuous
I don't know.
undertones.
It's-
And then
Right.
she
Right.
refers to
Flowers
him
in the
as
attic.
her
soulmate.
soulmate
Yeah.
at that meeting or the big
Yeah.
for the pep rally or whatever.
Which
it was.
either could be insinuating like there was a deep connection, and I've heard like mothers say that about their sons too, like
Wait, and
as a
did
reason,
she-
but it was like more.
Did she reference him as her twin? Was that
Yeah.
something it said? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
so it could be deeper because they are twins.
Well,
and
which
they're
makes
close.
sense because twins
Sure.
always feel like this
Absolutely.
deeper connection.
And mind you, it's not weird to go on a boat ride with your sibling.
Yeah.
It was just the way they portrayed it. It
Yeah.
seemed very intimate and romantic versus, hey, want to just go on a boat ride and go
Right.
out on the water, you know?
and the rest of the
So-
episode highlights that kind of closeness
Exactly.
and kind of weirdness.
I kind of already have a little, and I haven't really read up on it either, so if I'm saying something that you guys already know, forgive me, but I kind of feel like I already have my guess, my prediction of what's going to happen. Because everybody can't tell their alibi, right?
Right.
So I feel like, what's her name again, the sister? I have it up in front of me. Cheryl. I kind of feel like Cheryl didn't want, somehow, I think somebody shot Jason from land. I don't think Cheryl shot
Now
him.
you're jumping all the way to the
I
end.
know, I know.
Shocker! He's been shot.
Don't you think though? I feel like the sister, there's something incestual that she doesn't want to tell people, which is why it's kind of like, that's why nobody's
Well, we
coming
know her
out.
alibi. She was in the water. And then we only know the only person who can't, which we're jumping around again, who can't tell their alibi is Archie and the teacher. Those are the only
Right,
two
Because
that we
they're
know.
the ones that heard the shot.
Yeah, they were there.
So,
Very true. Right. So Archie and the teacher. Yeah, we'll keep it going. Thank you for keeping me on the. Okay, so we're going through.
So they just
Archie's-
met Veronica at
They
the
just met
diner.
Veronica. Clearly, Archie's struggling with, I think, what all of us struggled with in high school, which was like, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? What am I going to do after high school? I have to start thinking long term. So he's struggling with managing football and his dad's business and
which
music.
is the typical, like, you go back to, like, High School Musical, kind of like
Yeah.
you see Zac Efron, like, struggling with, he wants to do music because it kind of interests him, but he's, like, the basketball player. He does all that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
Which we might mention that the dad of Archer is played by Luke Perry from 90210. You guys are looking at me like, what are you talking
Here's
about?
the thing. You are educated and schooled, so I'm just like, please fill me with information that I don't know. No,
So, fun fact for all you 90210 fans.
Okay, there you
Okay.
go.
Which I
never
haven't-
watched that. I didn't.
Really?
The
Not
old
even
one
like
or the
one
new one?
episode? I didn't watch like
so
all the
bad.
way through, but I watched
I
the
know.
first few seasons.
To be honest, like, I'm so bad with shows in general that like, so unless like there's like the new hit thing and we're covering it, like anything that we're covering becomes my favorite show.
I know.
But,
That's
like,
true.
if we're not
I get really
covering
into it.
then I'm
Like,
not
she's not interested.
That's how it was with Westworld. That was
I
all
know,
it
exactly.
was. Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Okay,
so we see like Veronica come in, and there's already that little bit of spark of
Yeah, the love
tension.
triangle.
And she's
Between
gonna
them.
stir some stuff up. I understand she's trying to, kind of redefine herself and everything like that. But she's kind of also a little bit. Her boldness kind of stirs the pot a little bit. So I'm sure, because people outgoing like that, and when they do get so involved, things get a little crisscrossed and messy. But I like her character. She doesn't bug me or anything. I'm excited because she's gonna like guide Betty throughout her little high school journey. We found out that Veronica's dad was he was charged with
Embezzlement.
and fraud.
Yeah, so he's under trial for something. So Veronica and her mom had to move back to Riverdale, and I guess they're broke right now or something like that.
Right. And
So
there's
they're-
obviously some history with Veronica's father and Archie's dad.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
She
yes.
apparently like they dated, and that she left Archie's dad, Mr.
For the rich guy.
90210,
Yes.
for the rich guy. Is what she said.
Right. And obviously a backfire.
And then now,
Which is another
but-
classic trope.
Yeah.
I know.
Down
Of
to the T,
course.
I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
But then
Of course.
he's also, which helps play for the drama, is having problems with his wife, so she's back in Chicago for whatever reason.
Right. Yeah, because they split up. I'm sure we'll see her at some point. Maybe not. I don't know if she's relevant to the story, but there's definitely going to be some weird type of. I see like the dad and the mom, Archie's dad and Veronica's mom, kind of like getting drunk and linking up again. I don't know. I can. That's my guess. Who knows?
Who knows?
These are irrelevant things.
I have
I'm
no
just saying.
idea. What was that place they moved into? Was that like a hotel or a place they lived at before?
It was probably
weird.
well, because she said she had some money saved up, so I would
Okay.
assume she was staying at like the class. Actually, it might be a hotel.
I feel
Or
like
an
it was
apartment
like
building.
yeah, it could be an apartment
It
building.
definitely looked like an apartment building,
With
but
the
it was
bellboy.
also funny with the way that they explain Riverdale. That, I mean, I know back like in home, like my home in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, like there's not like a fancy hotel or a fancy apartment.
Yeah,
that
when they
lets
got out, it
them-
was like a
Right.
city-state,
then,
but everything else is like super suburban.
Old school.
Yeah.
So now we're introducing
Far
like
more.
Tower of Terror, because it's always very like gloomy too whenever like
Yeah.
around that time whenever they're at her house. And
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'm
very-
confused as to like how this
She must be. Yeah, that was her. Maybe that was just her version of downsizing and
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely
You
what
know.
they were trying to portray.
Exactly. That she's not, completely broke. And then after that, where are we in the timeline?
Okay, so they get out, blah, blah, blah. Oh, the tour.
They do the
So,
school tour.
Betty and Veronica tour in a school. Kevin shows up, says something about her dad, Veronica's dad. So, yeah, the whole school, the whole town knows.
Beans
Right.
are spilled.
Beans are spilled. The girls finally, Veronica stands up to Cheryl, which was this big dramatic scene.
With the cheerleading tryouts.
Yeah,
Mhm.
with the classic ending. What did she say?
But whoa.
Something
Oh,
about
yeah,
burning.
wait, rewind a little
Let's
bit.
talk about the kiss. Like, what the heck?
Oh,
Oh,
the
the
cheerleading kiss
lesbian kiss.
between
I-
Veronica and Betty.
That, yeah.
Like, so that's the only thing that's funny. And that does like play
It threw
into
me
this
off.
role is that like everybody's playing like that stereotypical like it seems like the writing is done exactly for like to be played with these actors to do like word for word, you know what's gonna happen, but then there's like these little different things, like little catches and twists in the show that make it like I don't know how to explain it, just like different. Like obviously the
They
kiss
do make it
then and
different.
then
I thought they were gonna dance. I thought she was gonna be like,
Yeah, I thought let's
turn
do
on
a
that
pyramid
pyramid
or something.
and then they were gonna like do some weird twerking or thing. So I was like, yeah, let's get them doing awkward dancing. But then they ended up just making out, which was hilarious because Betty had like the lipstick.
Yeah,
and
she
I
like-
was like,
Which is almost refreshing to see, because sometimes when you have a make-out scene, it's like, oh,
No,
yeah,
the
why
lips
am
are
I smeared?
yeah.
Lipstick
I'm sorry,
all
that was
over
a
me.
matte finish, and there's like no stain on her lip, whatever.
No smear. Oh, let's
Yeah.
rewind a little bit and just establish the fact that Veronica is kind of pushing Betty towards Archie. You know, like,
Yeah.
ask him out, you know,
True.
do this thing, even though there's like a weird sexual tension now between Archie and Veronica. I guess not
And
weird,
I feel
but
like that's because she wants to completely exhaust. Like, are you sure you don't like her? Like, try everything.
Yeah.
So then, if there's
can move
if
in.
something did blossom, it's like, look, I tried everything. He just wasn't
Yeah.
feeling
But she's
you.
trying to break girl code.
I know.
By
She is.
writing up
I mean,
to
and that
to
was what
Betty.
kind of happened in the 7 Minutes of Heaven. She like says, so you would never see anything with her.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like
Um,
asking Archie that gave her comfort. Like, well, okay.
Yeah.
So.
But at the same time, like I guess I wasn't, and this is again another part where it threw me off, where like I thought that she would be like they would just kind of hang out, like oh, like we should just talk and like get to know each other, and then like some secrets were revealed,
Yeah.
and then they'd come out and like just like let's just pretend like we did something, but then
Right. I thought they were just gonna talk the whole time.
yeah, I didn't expect them to really like.
But there was sexual tension from the beginning, so it's like.
It's, this whole show has got a lot of sexual tension.
lots of
There's a lot,
tension.
like, the teacher and Archie, and then like it kind of seems like it in the beginning with the brothers and sisters. There's a lot of sexual tension going on. In
Right,
this show.
truly. Speaking of that, I believe next it's revealed that Archie and his music teacher, during 4th of July, while he was working with his dad in construction, the teacher drives by. They end up.
Archie's hit puberty. It's growing up.
Yep.
Like
He hit puberty.
Yeah.
Exactly. He got the construction game going on.
So Blackwing 2040 says, didn't the comics both Betty and Veronica have a thing for Archie? And yes, they do. It's an ongoing love triangle throughout the whole comic series.
Which is interesting because they kind of treat it like, which is, I think, the most organic thing about this show is the fact that if I was new to a school and the girl who showed me around, I would just befriend her and kind of get in with that because it's
Yeah.
like the first person you trust.
Yeah.
And she's trying to start like a new slate.
Right.
On
So
the
it's
right
kind of
foot.
like she's a good girl to be friends with. Archie's a nice guy. Let's just be friends with them. But I
Right.
can definitely see them being like this ongoing love triangle. So good call, Blackwing. So yeah, we reveal Archie and the teacher had a thing.
Yes. Which is like so weird. They always play this off on TV shows where he's supposed to be 15 years old.
Right. No, and the best part, let me tell you what, I've seen my teachers
You're a
and summer
sophomore,
break,
okay.
and none of them are driving around by themselves with cute little hearts
Yeah.
and a 7-Eleven smoothie, just saying. But
I would be like, ooh. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had some hot teachers, but
oh, we've all
gosh,
had
come
hot
on.
teachers. Don't get me wrong, but in the summer, yeah, that was just a hilarious setup.
Yeah.
But obviously, that would be their alibi, was that they were at the beach or the river together, doing the dirty, getting weird.
4th of
But they
July.
can't say that because
Right.
obviously that would actually probably get them in more
super
trouble.
illegal.
And then it seems as though like they maybe saw more than what they just heard. Like they talk about
Well, they
like,
heard the
hear
gunshot.
but when they talk about it, it's like we have to keep that with us forever, and they refer to it as Jason. And so like I'm just wondering if like more happened maybe at the river. Like they maybe got up and went to investigate, saw some things, and so like they can't talk about it. I'm just
Yeah.
curious as like. it
No,
seems like
and you
there
can
was
tell
more.
that the teacher is actively trying to get it out of her head, where Archie, who's obviously, a pubescent, or not pubescent, but, 15 or 16
Yeah.
years old, is like, doesn't have those coping skills, just like got physical with the teacher. Now he's confused because there's a murder. So he's trying to talk about it. She just wants nothing to do with it
Right.
and understands the repercussions. And so that'll be interesting because I feel like Archie's a good guy who's going to like have that guilt build up where she's the teacher that's like, just be quiet, just be quiet. But they end up obviously working out a deal where
musically, because that's something
Yeah.
else that's been revealed by now is that
Yes.
Archie can sing. and he can play the
He
guitar.
could sing, yeah, and his music is pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised. Good job,
We
Archie.
have someone from Indonesia on.
Indonesia.
Gilang Hart. Hello from Manhattan Beach, California.
Hello. What are they saying? Or did they just join?
Yeah, they just joined us. Hello, I'm from Indonesia. And then Blackwing says Archie had a thing with the teacher. This show got crazy already.
Blackwing, you're telling me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was pretty steamy in that car.
I know.
Yeah. Huh. I always
No
remember kids
comment.
like coming back after their sophomore year, and then they like it was like, oh, now they're taller and have abs.
And I'm from a small
Yeah.
town, and my summers were way more boring than theirs.
I know.
That's all I'm going to say about that. Next up, let's see. Oh, so then after Archie and Veronica have that moment, 7 minutes of heaven, finally Betty confronts Archie, and he basically just says, you know, I don't have the answer for you. We're not... Basically saying, I don't like you like that. We're best friends.
Right.
I love you, but I'm not in love with
Friend
you, which is the
zoned
worst
her.
thing to hear
You're
ever.
two
I'll
times
never be
that
good
night.
enough for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never be good enough for you, which is another nice way of saying I'm just not into it.
And I forgot though, the Jughead all along is narrating
the
it a
narrator
little
of the
bit.
story.
And I forgot about him until you see Archie walk back into the diner, and then he's like starts narrating again. I remember I was like,
And is he narrating because he's writing the novel about
Right.
about Riverdale. I don't know.
Riverdale?
And then
So
there
it would
was
make
something.
sense that there's like...
Then there was something going on between him and Archie as well. I don't know if it was a friendship or there's
Yeah.
already like they've already introduced it like there's the gay boy and his like the athlete, the jock. They're
Right.
together.
Well, basically, Jughead and Archie are best friends in the comics. But
Okay.
apparently on the
Okay.
show, something happened, and there's a little bit of a rift between them right now.
Right, because I got the
Okay.
impression they're comfortable enough with each other to just sit down and start a conversation,
Yeah.
but they weren't close enough to be like, hey man, you know,
Right.
it seemed like tension. So, but in the comics, they're best friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what he said. He's like, all it took for me was just to say something.
Right.
And so that's where I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Which is like
So-
almost like another Gossip Girl influence with this whole narrating throughout the story, and
Right.
I'm writing a story about all my friends.
Maybe he
and-
wouldn't be so dark and mysterious. He would have stayed like on the sweet life. Exactly.
True
Yes,
that.
Playboy,
Another
yeah.
fun fact.
Cole
I didn't
Sprouse,
realize
right?
Jughead.
Right.
Yeah, Cole Sprouse is Jughead, which I didn't.
So if you were wondering what happened to those kids, one of
One
the
of
brothers
them-
got a job in 2017.
One of them got a job. No doubt. Yeah, he's Jughead. Maybe it's the blonde hair threw me off, but you could kind of tell when.
You're definitely darker.
Yeah, because it was
Yeah.
he was a brunette there,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. All right, let's see what else we got here. So they go to the dance, they do that. The big reveal at the end is they find Jason's body. What's the name? Kevin.
Kevin.
Is
No,
with-
Jace.
Kevin
yeah.
is with the football player. They are trying to get a little frisky because one of the football players in the closet. They go down by the river, trip over Jason's body, which has finally washed up against shore, and they see a bullet hole. In the morning, he's taken out in a yellow bag.
Which I'm sorry, if I
body
saw
bag.
a dead body in the middle of the night in the river, I would have been out of there so fast.
Oh, and the fact
Right.
that she
And
was like,
everybody's around.
I
by
know,
the way.
and they're, like,
we've got
staring.
everybody in town is there with
Yeah.
like a cup of coffee, just watching, and I'm like, when does that?
like, did it go on Twitter? Found a dead body,
But it
come
must
down
have
to the
been
river.
Kevin maybe told.
well,
know,
they were
them, and
still
it
in
was
their
just-
dresses and things
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
true.
So,
So
I
they
mean, it
must
could have
have
been
just
like
stayed
the
up all
wee
night partying.
mornings. I don't know. But I agree.
Yeah.
Like he was like, and he's been shot. And
Yeah, I was like,
like,
how did you see that through the?
I wouldn't get that close. You know,
I would have been out of there so
Like,
fast.
he
Yeah.
already looked like he was gonna raise up.
Yeah,
you know,
that
was a
was-
little freaky.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that was terrifying. There was a good ending though, because then we see, that he was shot. So then it gives you the idea, okay, murder, and then you kind of your
Yeah.
wheels start turning.
There was
Especially-
already the one mystery of how he ended up in the water in the beginning, and now
Right.
he's been
It's
murdered.
classic.
Obviously,
Who shot Jason?
Yes.
Absolutely. So do you guys have any theories on who killed Jason?
I don't necessarily know that I have theories, just because the way that the show is going,
And I know it's a Google search away because it's in the
Oh,
comments,
oh,
but I'm just saying,
yeah.
like, I just, for us, I don't know if you guys have any.
I don't know, unless they're trying to
Throw us off.
a little bit, and like it's a series, so if they want there to be potential for more series to come, they
Right.
could stray away from the comic, which luckily you're very familiar with, so you'll keep us in mind. with that.
I know.
Maybe it was Josie. Oh, did we mention that Josie? and the
Josie
Pussycats
and
were
the
in here?
Pussycats.
My bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
Josie and the Pussycats. Okay, I know that's a comic.
Mhm.
So did the band get their name from the comic then? like the original Josie and the Pussycats.
I just remember the Josie and the Pussycats, like the cartoon.
Yes.
You know, like
it was a
running
cartoon.
around.
There was a movie with Rosario Dawson
Yes,
and
I remember that. Yeah.
Rachel, that girl from She's All That. I'm sorry, that actress. No, it was just Josie, and then she named her band the Pussycats.
But it was a real band, right? Or am I just thinking of the movie?
I think you're thinking of the movie.
You think of
This whole time I thought that was a
based
real
off
band.
of fictional characters.
Oh my god.
From the very beginning. It's okay.
You guys, this is the time where I hate that it's live because I can't take that back.
editing it.
I
You
can't
have a
take
little
that back.
kitty peeking up from your shirt.
I know. I think this is a T Fury shirt. Shout out to them. I'm pretty sure this is.
Blackwing
is this T Fury?
2040 feels bad for Archie.
Yes.
He's in the nice guy spot in a way. Yeah.
Dude, he's in the nice spot guy, but so is Betty. She's been like friend zoned by him for years.
Sounds like.
And this is like official because she went for it. So.
Yeah, she did with the help of Veronica, kind of pumping her up.
So no, I don't necessarily have any theories necessarily who did it, but as far as like where I think characters are gonna go and where like there's some just things that need to be handled or like that aren't talked about yet, is like definitely Betty's mom. Like down to she's the one that broke her sister. She's very particular. She tries to give Betty like Ritalin. And then
very controlling.
Her issue was that also the reason why she didn't like Archie was because she had red hair. So what I mean, I don't understand what that has to do with anything either. So like there's little cues that they're throwing in there that I'll be interested to see what if it goes down there or if we're just going down a rabbit hole with that.
I also think because Archie at one point saw Cheryl and got up really quickly from the table while they were having lunch, which to me I just said in my head, I was thinking after the fact, okay, maybe he just felt uncomfortable because he knew, you know, when he was with the teacher, he heard a gunshot and looking at her makes him uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Or is there some type of weird thing with them
There's
between
definitely
Cheryl
history
and
there because that's why, I mean, Betty's like, no, don't talk about it at all. Like, don't say anything. So is that something that's in the comic book?
I'm not entirely sure. And also, again, they're doing their own little rendition.
That's true.
So
Yeah, CW is kind of doing their own little version of that.
We have Daniel Diaz joining us. Says, hey guys, all woman after show.
Yeah! What up,
Girls'
Daniel?
night in Riverdale.
Girls' night in Riverdale.
Yes.
That is awesome. I know. We are. That's so funny.
Yeah, again, it's hard. Like, you kind of want to don't look for the obvious suspect.
Yes.
You have to go with the Scooby-Doo thing. It's like,
right.
I've been talking to this guy all along. He is the one that did it. So it's just like, you want to think it's like maybe Betty's mom. But hey, maybe it was Archie's dad.
I want to, right, it could be.
knows?
I want to get introduced to Betty's sister, who we've yet to see.
Know?
I want to know her story with Jason. I want to get the backstory on the mom. That's what I'm looking forward to in the next
I think it's
upcoming
too
episodes.
early right now. We have a couple of suspects.
Oh, I'm jumping the gun. You're right.
But too early to even come up with a theory, I think.
No, absolutely. And then obviously I don't know if we're going to get a lot from Veronica's mom. I'm trying to find her on here, sorry.
Yeah, and apparently there was another embezzlement. Something happened because
I want to hear that story too.
The bag of money. There is
So he's still going. He's still playing things.
Exactly.
Inside.
And I don't know if what was his name? Hiram?
Yeah.
So I don't know if he sent her money from inside jail or if there was something, like you said, still some illegal stuff going on.
Because the butler said that this was your lost bag that was left in the car.
Yeah.
Right, the lost bag. I wish
she
I had
got
a lost
giant
bag.
bag full of money, Veronica's mom, so they might not
that'll be interesting. Also, the dad, Veronica's dad, who committed the crime, when Veronica first gets to school, she's like, so is it true? And she's like, what, that my dad's the devil reincarnate? Mm-hmm. So obviously there's some type of, I know it's fraud and embezzlement, but it's like, was it from a charity? Was it they made it seem like this white collar crime also had like a really bad moral twist to it. Yeah. So I'm curious to see what happens there. If you guys know, let me know. I want to know what the dad did, like specifics.
Yeah, and if it's important to the plot A storyline, or if it's just like an empty plot B, which is just like, okay, this is just a side story going on.
And if you guys have any questions, feel free to
we all were like,
clickety-clack, and we'll type it out. And if you guys have any specific questions, it could really be about anything, or Riverdale, like we're talking about, let us know.
So this was just a theory I have out there, and I don't know, maybe you'll throw that out. You'll kind of throw this under the bus, but it, I thought like because the way that the bottle was spinning and how it like landed perfectly on the new girl Veronica.
That was TV magic.
Okay, yeah, that was. Okay, I just spit. I got so excited. Live show, you know? Well, with it being like based off a comic book, I was like, wait, was there something like witchcraft or like magic? Is there like what was the character like of Archer? Like
Archie.
Comic book Archie.
No, that's a different.
Okay.
That's a different character.
No, I didn't mean Archer. I just mean like this is based off the comic book, so
Yeah.
I'm just saying like there's nothing in this comic book that portrays like to witchcraft or magic or anything like that, right?
I think it's just that teeny bopper like. Hey,
Teeny bopper
look
just
at that.
happened.
Yeah, it
Okay.
just happened.
Okay. I was just like,
and it was in between the girls, and they both looked at each other.
So too. I
and
thought it was in between them.
Yeah, but that's why she invited them to the after party. Cheryl did.
'Cause she
said,
wanted
make
the
sure they
drama.
come to my
Yeah,
after party,
she
and she
said
set that
she
whole
wanted to
7
have
minutes
some
in
chaos.
heaven.
Yeah, Cheryl she freaks me out.
So we know that Betty's on Adderall.
Betty is on Adderall.
Well, not on Adderall.
With the help of
Or,
her
yeah,
mom,
she
it
went
sounded
off
like, she
her
didn't
meds.
refill the prescription, and then her mom so kindly gave her a full pack of those.
So kind.
Sounds
There
like
you
she
go.
doesn't really, I mean, she's obviously prescribed them, but it sounds like her mom's pushing her to do that so she can focus on school and get grades.
I would definitely think that we're gonna see probably the hugest change from what we see in the beginning with Betty to what's gonna happen, just because she has all this suppressed things that are going on with her, and now she's snapped because Archie doesn't want to be with her.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's gonna find out that Veronica and Archie had a little thing in the 7 minutes of heaven.
Yeah, she said she wasn't going to ask, but you got to ask.
No,
Yeah.
she knows.
She-
That's why she left.
Yeah.
Or maybe she didn't want to know, so she left.
That's true. I feel bad for Betty. I think she's my favorite character, though.
I don't know. I think the acting needs to be worked on a little
Yeah.
bit.
I just don't know if we're about to see like a Sandy thing, from
Yeah.
Grease, like where she's like kind of like done up
Yeah.
and then she comes back and
It's
she's
like the
an
Mary
adult mother.
Totally. Where she's, good girl gone bad, and Veronica's this bad girl trying to be good, but it's just like.
No, I mean that about Betty. Like, is Betty gonna be
Have it like a
the
180.
blonde? Yeah, like if she's she's kind of got like the ponytail and like everything's prestige and. Like if she's gonna come around and like trying to, she's already starting to tell off her mom, so she's having this. moment
yeah.
standing up for herself. So.
Well, I think she just, some self-esteem. I think she just needed, Veronica kind of gives her that, like, kick in her butt to kind of just be like, okay, stand up for yourself, own it, like, that confidence.
Well, I do have a one theory now.
Okay.
Maybe Betty did shoot Jason, and this is never gonna get solved because they're all gonna cover up the murder.
You think Betty shot Jason because of what he did to her sister.
Yeah.
No, but
And so Veronica and Archie. I'm
But-
saying Archie. Yeah, Archie are gonna help her
Says
cover
that
up the
Archie.
murder.
but I thought.
That's theory one. That's my
Yes,
theory.
I mean, I completely could see that, but
Okay, that
also
could
Betty
that
says
could
that
work.
her mom is the one that broke her sister. That Jason didn't do anything.
No, he said Jason hurt her, but her mom broke
Jason's-
her.
Oh,
But
okay.
that's what contradicted it was Betty said her mom was on Jason's side, but we see her mom not being on Jason's side when she made that remark saying, I hope he suffered before he died. So there was clearly a skew of like the perception was different. The reality versus, the truth versus the stories. Like the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Also,
you
where
know?
was her dad? Her dad was in the beginning at that point, and then he disappeared for the entire rest of the episode.
Coop, where are you at? Hal Cooper. Oh my god, it looks like Ray Liotta from his IMDb page, but it's not him. It's Lachlan Monroe. Oh no, that's the guy from. What does he do?
So,
He
Lachlan
played White
Monroe.
Chicks. He was the detective.
Yeah.
But also
wasn't
in
there something
Why do I remember seeing him dancing?
Night at the Roxbury, like he plays
Night
like
at
the
the
best
Roxbury.
friend.
oh, I
He's
remember him
cute.
from Freddy
Like,
vs. Jason.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Night at the Roxbury. Oh, I loved him in that.
Okay, so
yeah, he's the-
Blackwing asks what's Jughead's beef with Archie. We don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
I know that from the synopsis of the series. So
Yeah, we're not sure. But like Maverick said, he said something to the effect of all I needed to do was just say something.
Yeah,
to kind of
he
break
needed
the
him
ice.
to say something.
So we will find out because I'm curious about that as well.
DJ River says, "What? Great job, ladies."
Hey, DJ
Thank
Rivers.
you.
Love
Let's
DJ.
see.
Thanks,
Daniel
man.
Diaz, let me guess, since Archie is an old comic book filled with an all-white cast, the showrunners diversify the cast. Do you guys know? Let's see. No, there wasn't major diversity in this episode, at least, except for Josie and the Pussycats.
Wait, what did they say?
Pretty much Yeah.
Was there gonna be,
diversity.
like, a-
Yeah.
I don't know in terms of I don't know, like if there was diversity in the
Yeah, I
comic
definitely.
book.
I only
Yeah,
saw
just
the
Josie and the
Jersey.
Pussycats are all black women.
Unless, like,
down
you
there.
know, Hispanic women, we are diverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was forgetting.
Yeah, you
You're
forget. Don't put us with girl.
Right, you're mocha. Nah, it's all. Yeah, there is a little bit of diversity. I mean,
You're looking at the cast.
yeah,
Probably
you're right,
in
Josie and the
maybe in
Pussycat
upcoming. We
Dolls.
don't know. This is just series premiere talk
Yeah.
right now.
We're
I
all
also-
for it though. That's for sure.
So then, another thing, just going back to Archie and the relationship with the teacher, I kind of feel like he's handling it so maturely for a 15-year-old that's like just had a very like that's a very serious thing, a very
For sure.
intimate thing that happened with him over the summer.
Yeah.
Like he's like telling the woman, he's like, first of all, he definitely has strong feelings for her because
Yes.
like that's why he can't really commit to Betty. You see him look at
He's
the
always
teacher
looking
and
at his
has
teacher.
that kind of longing for her. But every time that he's with her, you never see him press that issue. And he's like, I need to talk to somebody about this.
Yeah.
And he's like, and put us aside, he's talking about the gun being shot. And
Right.
so I don't know. I was just very shocked at like how he was handling it very seriously. And at the same time, he's just like his motive is his music. And so like
It is his
doesn't
music.
really seem like he's shaken up too much about like what happened between him and the teacher, but
I think he understands that they can't be together and that it would ruin everything if that ever got out. But I think he genuinely wants to work on his music. But it's definitely a perk that he gets to see her every Monday,
Yeah.
Wednesday, Friday from at 7:30 a.m.
which they like they keep like touching back on that. And like
Yeah.
I'm sure that she says that 7:30 this is it, and
Yeah.
he's like I just want to work on my music, but I'm sure that they're gonna develop feelings again over that. It
and
seems
he
like
admits his feelings when he was in the closet with Veronica. He goes, "I felt that once this
over
summer."
the summer, yeah.
And so insinuating that like this is his first real crush or love that he's
Right.
felt for another woman. So that'll be interesting to see if they get caught and to see how that works, their relationship
And I
plays out.
definitely think the teacher, although yes, like she is petrified that she's gonna get in trouble for this, it almost seems like the reason why she doesn't want to be alone with him is because she's worried about herself too,
Totally.
like,
Yeah.
that something else is
Oh,
gonna
there's
happen.
totally like that awkward restraint the entire time because it's sexual tension, like you said. It's just like the whole show is just like different dynamics of sexual tension. Like,
Right, all over the place.
yeah.
And then I want to kind of chime in here, a little fact checker, Josh. Thank you. Actually, there are some supernatural elements, like it's split off in like the Archie comics. They had one where someone actually on YouTube said the Predator made an appearance, some superheroes, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and then there was an Afterlife with Archie, which was about zombies.
I missed that.
So we don't know if any of these supernatural elements are going to be incorporated into the show, but maybe it'll get funky season 2, like American Horror Story or
Good
something.
call. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even catch that.
I
All right.
definitely was wondering because that bottle just seemed to know where it was gonna go. So.
Well, that would make sense if Cheryl is like some type of.
That would be fun.
Because she spin the bottle.
That would make the show probably 80% more interesting than me.
Are you not feeling it? It is.
Not yet.
I know.
I never feel the first episode of a first season. I
Yeah.
don't know what show I've ever felt that. Or like, oh my god, this is gonna be great off the bat.
Yeah, no, that's true.
It definitely
You
has
kind
a
of-
lot of potential. Like I said, I like a good murder mystery.
Mhm.
So yeah,
No, I agree. What would you rate the show if you
from
had
the
to-
first episode.
Yeah, A, B, C, D, or.
Oh, you do like the grades.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The
that's
grading
well,
system.
I needed to know because I was like, what rated what?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a number.
Like, would you? Yeah, what would you
From one
give
to
it?
10?
I think just because I wasn't too impressed with the acting, which, they can get a lot better. And for a lot of the major cast members, this is their second or first major job on a series. And then it was like too formulaic to me. So probably a C minus.
Hey, you're being honest, and mine's not
Yeah.
far off, mind you.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that either. And for that, probably that very same reason, just with the acting, I was gonna say like
Yeah.
B, because I'm also like I'm really like once I'm into something, it's
Right.
like one of those things where like if a show is on, you end up watching it and like you just kind of get like,
Invested,
yeah,
yeah.
you get zoned into it, and so that's where like now I'm intrigued and like I want to know like what happens. It keeps going, even though I feel like it's like it seems as though like you're gonna be able to follow the breadcrumbs. It's pretty easy. It's gonna be like every stereotype movie of of a high school drama. So that's why I say B. But like the only reason why I went up from a C to a B was that it seems like it's very much more heightened, more mature, more like obviously for our fans. Is I don't really necessarily see them. Like a really young audience to this.
No.
I can see like it kind of being able to play to an older one as well.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is I have to remember the demographic that they're trying to hit.
Yeah.
And plus, I've been on this really weird like true crime murder shows and like really intense things about affairs, and so like to me, when you go back to CW shows, you're like, wait a minute, you have to remember exactly they're going off of a comic book. They're trying to. It's a totally different demographic. Same kind of thing with the acting and the predictability. I'll give it like a C. It's riding that like B minus C plus for me. But also in terms of the acting, you're right. A lot of it has to do with writing.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Veronica walked in and she said, "I'm full of dread."
Yeah.
When have you ever heard a 16-year-old, number one, wearing pearls, number two, saying the word dread? I'm filled with dread? That's the best thing that they could come up with. Anything else. You know what I mean? So stuff like that where I'm like, oh, ah. But, yeah, it rides that, like, C plus B minus line for me.
Not to say you guys shouldn't watch it.
But I'm going to watch it every week, so I got to bump it up to a B minus, because you know I'm going to invest it in this, and you know I'm going to watch it.
You guys need to stick it out with us.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And I know it's going to get, like, a lot more juicier, so.
I mean, if this is the structure they're going for, if it's going to be like Shakespearean in a way, Shakespeare had his thing that he did, and you know, if that's how this show is going to be, then I'm going to like give it some slack, of course. So.
Oh yeah, no, totally. And like I said, I'm going to watch the whole thing and probably love it. But and the cinematography's kind of, you know, it's gritty, kind of like that Twilight-y thing.
Very cold.
I do adore the fact that there's brand new actors on the scene.
Yes,
that makes me happy because they could have easily done like Bella Thorne for Cheryl Blossom.
I thought that was her for a split second
because I know she's like this hot redhead right now. But like, and she's great. Don't get me wrong, but she's doing so many other projects, and she's so it's like nice to have super young, new, fresh actors that you've never seen.
Which
there's
you
so
can
many
always,
talented people in this town.
That's CW's thing. You can always get them credit for that.
Yeah, so I mean, I know it
crossed my mind where I was like, where were the auditions for that? Like, I could have done that. You know, like.
Yeah, or like even, like Archie could have been any, all these other people that you see pulled from Teen Wolf and things like that. So it's nice that you see people that aren't consistently working yet. They have like their big breakout role. So I love that just because I think spreading the love and talent is kind of cool. So.
Actually, I'm sorry. Actually, the actor that plays Veronica.
Yeah.
She's Hispanic. Marisol Nichols is Hispanic.
Camila
so
Mendes.
yeah, there's more diversity.
Yeah, that's
in
where
there.
my
that
was my
Veronica.
comment.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I was like rallying behind them.
No, and Camila Mendes, I do like her a lot, and she's only had, this is her
first
big, her first big acting.
Which I was like, I'm gonna cut a little slack here and there.
Congrats to you, Camila Mendes.
Right out of school. She graduated from Tisch, right?
Yeah, NYU, nice. School of the Arts. There you go, girl. And then you booked, and you're going to be fine. You're set pretty much for life.
Let's see, who else?
Which is funny, like, that they're playing these 15-year-olds. You're starting off in your sophomore year. So this is like, not that this is like Glee by any means, but like, I don't know, this is like what threw me back to Glee. It was like where they started them off so young because because it became such a good, show and everybody wanted to watch it. Like if they started them off at seniors, it's like where do you go from that? They're not gonna have
the sophomore thing.
Yeah. So that's why my thought first was like
because a lot of these teen bopper shows die when they graduate high school and go to college.
It makes sense why they would start them off at
start them young. Plus, it's always so frustrating when you've seen like Chad Michael Murray playing a 16-year-old, or like even the OC, which was awesome. But yeah, all these, every Adam Brody's like exactly like 32 playing a high schooler, and you're just like, huh? So it's kind of nice too that they kind of stuck to. They're mature
I
for their
didn't
age.
look like those girls right now that are in high school. Like my makeup sure didn't look like. I mean, they were really
they were
pretty.
gorgeous. Clearly, yeah.
So Daniel Diaz asked, "Can Riverdale compete with Pretty Little Liars?"
That crossed my mind. That it had that Pretty Little Liars kind of essence going on.
Good question. I'm going to be honest. I have not watched the full series of Pretty Little Liars. I understand the same kind of grit, the same murder mystery type thing.
That's about all I
don't know.
I've never even watched a show.
If I had to guess,
sorry,
I would say if you're combining both comic and like coming of age TV shows. I think it has a good success, like a chance to be really successful.
But there's a huge, I mean, you have that huge comic book fans. Like, I
Right.
mean, obviously that's why we're here. Like,
Right.
and so I think that this is good where they are trying to make it. They're trying to mesh the two worlds together,
Yeah.
so that people that aren't necessarily that don't know what the comic book was about
Can get into it
can
that way.
get into
Yeah.
it this way, and then the people that are already fans will follow it and love it and like want to see it perform out. I think like
Yeah.
that's a.
I will say, is Pretty Little Liars, that's an original script that wasn't based off of, was it based off of a book maybe? But not like a
Josh,
comic
you want to
book.
fact check that?
Josh, can we fact check?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I feel like it was
Just
based off
because-
of a novel, maybe the story, but
Because I
not the
just
whole
feel like,
series.
yeah, sometimes original, like, not original, but things that aren't comic books or not well known kind of do
Yeah.
better because then it's like seems like a fresh idea
Yeah.
almost. And I know people got really attached to all those girls.
Based on
Like,
the book series.
okay, so
Yeah,
it's based off a book
book.
series.
Like a
Like
Pretty
this-
Little Liars book series. Okay, I've
Yeah.
never seen
Like
that
the
book
series.
series.
like the Babysitter
Okay.
Club, but the like scandalous.
Yeah,
one.
the Scandalous. But also
There's
those
a
actresses
show.
got really big. Like actually, what's her name? And Lucy Hale. Like those girls got really big
Yeah.
off of that, and they continue to work. So hopefully, my hope is this show does well. But worst case scenario, if it does die off, these actors then, because
They
they're
do-
fresh on the
yeah.
scene, they'll just keep booking and booking because
Yeah.
hopefully, yeah. And like you said, they're acting. They're gonna. This is them just kind of.
I'm
Getting
interested
their
to see
skills
where this
sharpened.
does go past season 1.
Yeah.
It's just going to be, is this a murder mystery show?
And then
Or-
are more
It's
people going to obviously be murdered, or is it going to be all based around Jason's
one.
murder?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, yeah. Because there's the parallel there. If he's playing A, like in Pretty Little
Oh, that's
Liars.
true.
So if he's like, I don't know if it'll be based off him. There's 16 episodes though, so that's, and they're all what, an hour long.
Oh yeah, because it's a
There's
mid-season premiere,
16?
so it's a mid-season premiere. So that gives it to me.
Yeah.
that means, oh yeah, like whatever we think is happening in this first episode,
Yeah.
it's not.
You guys are
what
gonna be with us
think.
for a while.
Yeah, it's not what you think.
All right. Exactly.
So
but
anything
yeah.
else to wrap it up?
I don't have any other questions. I basically got all that out of my system.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, any questions on the queue?
Let's see. Any last words, guys? So I guess if you're a fan of murder mysteries, if you've watched Gossip Girl and Pretty Little Liars and
Or know the comics. like,
or
side
know
of
the
it.
Archie comics, 75 years still going.
Oh yeah, you did.
It's alright.
Yeah, and feel free to fact check us because
Yeah.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I went into it blind, right, just to kind of see what the show is about. So there's gonna be times where you guys are gonna need to correct me. So for that, I apologize. But it'd be nice to like fact check between the show and the comic book itself. So if you read
Yeah, some
it,
comparisons. Mhm.
Or if
Comment.
you have some crackpot theories.
crackpot. Thank you. I was trying to think of that word. I'm like, do you guys have any theories? But it seems like such a naked word. Crackpot theories. There we go. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, you guys, for watching. We had viewers from Indonesia. Shout out
Yes.
to Indonesia. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
We
Thanks,
love you guys
Daniel
so
Diaz.
much.
Thanks, Blackwing, as usual.
Yes.
I know Blackwing's awesome.
Yeah.
You always pull through. Your comments don't go unnoticed. Where's Edward Sanchez? Edward, come on, man. I know it's late. You probably work tomorrow, but
Yes.
we miss
But
you. We know you're
Comment
a fan as well.
tomorrow. We'll see it.
Exactly.
That's true. And or
Awesome,
if there's
guys.
any things that you want us to like probably look into more, that we still watch these as they go up later. So let us know, and Josh will also
Yes.
keep us
Yeah.
informed.
Thank you, Josh, for fact
Yes,
checking.
thanks,
In the back, our fact
Josh.
checker back there. He's the man in the room.
Exactly.
guess
His Google
same.
search consists of Pretty Little Liars and anything Riverdale related.
I hope you're
And
on
supernatural
computer.
elements.
Right.
Yes. Thanks.
So perfect.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, we love you very much. Thanks for tuning in. We will be here, true or false, next week Thursday. Not
Same
this
time,
location though, maybe.
Maybe not.
Okay.
Oh,
We
maybe
might
not
spice
same
it
place.
up. We might be at Josh's. We might be in the Valley over by because we're all in like North Hollywood-ish, Studio City area.
Well, I'm in Koreatown.
Oh, you're
That's
Koreatown.
okay.
I'm still closer than the
I gotta
Valley
be careful.
people.
I'm not even gonna give away my address because I don't know. Things are sketchy these days. Just kidding. You guys are awesome. All right. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching. We will see you
Thanks.
next
Good
week.
night.
Now is this the part where